Three, two, one. What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. I'm your host, 34. Tonight, I have a very special guest, Riki Kubota.
Kubota.
Damn it. Kubota is in the building. How you doing tonight, Riki?
It's good. Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
For sure, man. And thank you for joining me. I know I said off camera, like, I wish I could have accommodated you, but, thank you for just pushing through and thugging it out and sliding through.
Yeah, no worries.
For sure. For the folks out there who are unfamiliar with the flow of the show, let me pull it up for y'all. We're going to start off with a little bit of icebreaker. We'll jump into a warm-up, and then we'll turn to the twist of the interview, which is the Wheel of Fate. After that, we'll finish out with some closeout questions. Sound good to you, Riki?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
For sure. Well, it's kind of misleading, that little graphic, because before we get to the icebreaker, I do want to ask you, how are you doing? You doing well? You doing great? How you been lately, man?
Thank you for asking.
For sure.
I'm doing good, just getting through each day one step at a time,
I feel you, man.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. It's a Tuesday. Work for me is always busy. I don't think it's ever like not busy for me. I work with high schoolers at a high school doing an after school program. So yeah, it's just they keep it interesting. They keep it like changing every day.
Yeah, I bet. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. But yeah, no, my day's been cool. Where are you from again, if you don't mind me asking?
So I live in LA. I grew up born and raised in LA, but both my parents are from Japan. So yeah.
For sure. How would you describe LA for someone who's never been there before?
It's the vacation temperature, I guess.
I got you.
Yeah, super nice.
I know LA is huge. So are you talking about like, downtown LA-ish, or like on the outskirts, or in the smaller like little communities? I went to school in Long Beach, so yeah. I'm not super familiar, but
I'm a little more towards the city. I'm in Inglewood right now.
Okay. I got you. For sure. All right, man. Well, without further ado, let's jump into these icebreakers.
All right.
So here goes my icebreaker graphic. You see the little 34.
Yeah, I see it.
You'll see a little 34 on your face right now because you have 34 seconds to go through this round. And let me ask you, would you rather do a word association or a this or that for this exercise?
Let's do this or that.
This or that. All right, here we go. No pressure. And if you need a pass, just say pass.
Okay.
All right, here we go, man. In 3, 2, 1. See the future or change the past?
Change the past.
Ambition or comfort?
Ambition.
Fiction or nonfiction?
Nonfiction.
Hang out with little kids or hang out with old folks?
Both the same. Old folks, I guess.
I got you.
To learn more from them, yeah.
Underestimated or overestimated?
Well, underestimated, I guess.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah.
Would you rather? Ooh.
Oh shit.
Oh, man. You got
oh damn! I totally forgot I was being timed.
It's all good, man. That's a good sign for me that you just in the moment. But for sure, I like to dig in a little bit to some of the answers sometimes. For the first one, I asked, see the future or change the past. Why did your mind go to change the past?
I mean, there's a lot of opportunities that I've probably missed in the past that would benefit me, both growth and like career-wise. I mean, if I could change the past with what I know now, obviously I'd make the right decisions for a lot of the wrongs and situations that I like opportunities that I passed up on. So I would rather do that rather than see the future, which is, I don't know if I have much control in it. I don't know what the rules and parameters are when you're seeing the future. So
I hear you.
Yeah.
I know, like, one of the problems with seeing the future is like we start getting caught up on like, how do I ensure that it's the future that we like? How do we ensure that to happen? And we get wrapped up in that. But as far as changing the past goes, man, do you feel like you've been able to kind of, I guess, let go sometimes, because I hear you. I am deep into regret sometimes, as far as like missed opportunities, and every day it almost feels like a missed opportunity for myself, because I don't feel like I'm pushing myself hard enough, and I'm like, man, I could have definitely added a little bit more of this or spent more time on my craft, right? But yeah, so for you feel like that's letting go is easier, or it's still somewhat of a challenge?
No, I mean, there's parts that I've let go. I've learned to let go. There's obviously other parts where I'm still like, oh, damn, you know, like, I'm trying to be more like introspective and like kind of work on my own mental health and stuff. So I've learned to let go of a lot of things, and like, there's obviously things that are far out of your control. But one of the, like, if we're talking about regrets, one of the biggest regrets is like, just like the amount of time I wasted when I was younger. Just because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, you know? So, yeah, I guess I wish I had the direction and ambition and motivation that I have right now that came with the maturity as I did when I was, you know, immature, I guess.
I got you.
Yeah, man. I mean, you'll never get those years back, but at least I started, you know, at least I changed. So.
Nah, for sure, man. And yeah. I'm just gonna take a wild guess, but I believe you are younger than me. I'm 32, turning 33 this year.
Oh yeah, I'm 28.
For sure.
Yeah.
So don't worry, man. I've been in that boat, and I didn't feel like I really knew or really figured it out for myself until 30. And if you listen to other episodes, me talking to 30-year-olds, we all kind of come to that conclusion of like, damn, for some reason a switch happens when you turn 30. Yeah. So you got a couple more years to just figure it out.
Looking forward to it, I guess. Yeah.
You got a couple more years, man. And I hope you're not too hard on yourself, because.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I'm trying not to be.
Because, man, like, I don't know. Do you feel like in your life experience that more people have it figured out versus people who don't?
I feel like more people are just trying to figure shit out. Yeah. Especially, you know, people in my age. Like, even the people that do kind of have it together, I feel like there's always some things that they're still trying to figure out, whether either career or like if they have their career figured out, they're trying to figure out something else in life and stuff. Like, it seems like a never-ending process or journey, you know.
For sure.
But at least people within my age, for the most part, I don't think we don't have anything figured out.
No, I got you. But I will say, and this is just me being the optimist that I am, that you're doing exactly what you need to be doing to you know, get to that part of your journey.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, don't try to overthink it, because I know I overthink a lot of things. All right, dog. Well, thank you for participating in the icebreaker. Let's jump into the warm-up, which is, I believe, this button. All right, man. So the first question for you in the warm-up is, what would you like the audience to know about you? You know, it's the first time we meeting. If there's like, this is a question for like a disclaimer almost, you know? You're like,
okay, yeah.
Go, do your thing.
So, you know, my name says Riki Kubota. I go by Kubota as a music artist. I've been making music for most of my life now. Right now, I'm mostly focused on like hip hop / indie pop fusion, lo-fi hip hop kind of stuff. But I've recently gotten a bit of exposure through some goofy Japanese videos that I made. So I'm thankful for that. And yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you about your influences. My first dream was to be a rapper, man, and I was very more like 90s conscious hip hop boom bap type of person. So for you, what would you say are like your biggest influences when it comes to your music?
Right now, like creatively, as of right now, I'd say like, you know, the more alternative hip hop stuff. So like Coda the Prince, you know, Saba.
Hell yeah.
Well, like back in the day when I first got into hip hop, I was like, you know, I went through the OGs. You know, Ice Cube was a big one, but what really got me into like hip hop and like the alternative rap scene of that time, like the early 2000s, was like when Murs was big, when Atmosphere was popping, Dilated Peoples, Cunnilingus, you know, those groups. That was my shit back in the day.
I got you.
Obviously, they're not around no more, but or they're not as popping anymore. But yeah, that's where I really like drove towards in hip hop.
For sure. Did you mention Atmosphere? I forgot if
Atmosphere, yeah.
Yeah, I just listened to a new song with I think Slug. I want to say it's Slug from Atmosphere. But yeah, I don't know if you ever heard of the song Melancholic. Yeah, Melancholic.
No, not yet. I haven't heard it yet. But I'll check it out for sure. So Slug is featured on it?
Yeah, I think it's either Slug or the other guy from Atmosphere, but I want to say it's Slug because he's
he's the rapper. So yeah. It's Slug and then Ant's the producer.
Got you. Yeah, I think it's Slug, and it's very classic Atmosphere, like introspection kind of like song. I mean, it's called Melancholic, so it's
it's gotta be a name like that.
Exactly.
Word, I'll check it out after this. Yeah,
for sure. I'm kind of curious as well. Like, how much did I guess the attention you've been getting doing the goofy videos kind of translate into people checking out your music? Has it been an easy kind of like bridge for them, or is it kind of like, oh, I didn't know you did music too, I just know you as this guy who's kind of funny on TikTok?
It's more of like, it bridges, not as much on TikTok as it does on Instagram. Instagram is much easier to reach an audience once they kind of discover you. I do get the comments like, oh, I didn't know you make music, but I'm not gonna take that for granted, like I'm just grateful that people are finding out that I even make music, and if it means that it has to be through completely irrelevant pieces of content, no sweat off my back, as long as if people are enjoying it, it's still working towards the same goal. There are some days where I'm like, damn, like I'm only being known for these goofy videos, I was a little bummed about that when I first kind of was becoming more known for that on TikTok. But it's whatever. Like I honestly don't care.
No,
as long as if people are reaching the end goal, it's all good.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I gotta ask you, as a I want to say former lyricist, but I really care about lyrics, right?
Yeah.
So for you, is there like a favorite bar that you could just think of off the top of your head that you wrote that just like for you just meant so much, or you wanted to present it for people? I mean, it could be a lot of things. I'm sure you've written a lot.
I think there's one line. I can't think of what I say before it.
It's good. Like no context, right?
Yeah, it's something it's from a song I wrote with my buddy Kingsford called Modern Day Living. It says it's like, got to take action, talk is cheap without purpose. Something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
I should know. I'm not very good at memorizing lyrics, so
neither am I. Don't worry.
But it was something like that, it's something that is more motivational, I guess, inspirational, quote unquote. But yeah.
I got you. For sure. And you mentioned Kingsford. Is it Kingsford Music? Like, I feel like I've come across that before somewhere.
Yeah. So he goes by Kingsford, but his like Instagram and TikTok, everything is Kingsford Music. And I've done a bunch of like collaboration posts with him and stuff like that. So maybe you came across it.
I probably came across him through you, for sure.
Yeah.
I got you. All right, boss. Let's move on to the next warm-up question, which is,
okay.
If I could do some sort of act to express the energy you possess, what act could I do? Like, how would you like to be honored?
What act?
Yeah.
What do you mean by like an act?
So I know some folks are like, what you could do is maybe write down my favorite quotes and put them up or whatever, like stuff, my catchphrases, or I want you to be creative for the day, or like, be really intentional with making a connection with someone. These are just various answers I've gotten from past guests, but something in that realm. Like, if let's say you were not in LA anymore, somewhere else in the world, and a group of your family and friends wanted to be like, oh, it's his birthday, I want to just do something that makes me feel like I'm closer to him at this time.
Oh, okay. Just just show up, you know. I guess you know, I don't know. I should probably think about that a little more, but I guess, you know, just like I'm simple, you know, a text or a hello, and an acknowledgement is good enough or something, you know. Is that an answer?
No, that's fine, man.
Yeah?
And
Okay.
honest, I know these questions might be a little tough because it's not a question you get all the time.
Yeah.
But now we know, at least, you know, just to send a message in your honor, just to reach out.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah,
reach
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we got you, man. We got you. Moving on to the last question of the warm up, which is, on a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you know yourself?
I'd probably give that maybe like a 7. I'd say.
Why a 7?
7, because I've you know, I've lived in this body for 28 years, I think. And as at the start of 2020, I really focused on, you know, figuring out myself, who I am, who I want to be, and stuff like that. Really just becoming more introspective. So, you know, I obviously it's still a path that I need to work on, but I feel like I have a good gauge of who I am. The other 2 points can come from, you know, therapy if I could afford it one day, and then that last point's reserved for what my friends, my family, everyone else thinks of me. So
I feel that.
Yeah.
No, I like how you made that 1 point for everyone else, because someone did tell me that, like, you can never really know yourself unless you know what other people felt about you, and that's almost impossible. So yeah, it's hard to get that 10 spot for sure. All right, well, a couple follow-ups to that is, what would you say is your favorite thing about your personality?
Favorite thing about my personality? I don't think I get overexcited or over emotional on most things. Or yeah, I don't know.
I mean, so it sounds to me like
or
you're
maybe I'm just monotonous, or, you know, not over emotional. That's probably not the right word, but I'm just I feel like I'm pretty chill. So
you did give me that word, chilling. Like, you just chilling all the time. I got you. Would you say that's something that was, you know, that you've always been like, or something you kind of had to grow into? Were you always this chill? Like, coming out the womb, you're just like, you know?
I mean, there's times where I could be a spaz, you know, but for the most part, I think I'm just, I think I don't know if people see me as this, but I think I'm pretty relaxed in most situations. You know, if I have like a live show, I don't really get nervous. If something goes wrong, it's not the end of the world, and I could kind of pull back and see the bigger picture of things, and kind of, you know, figure out what needs to be done to figure that out, you know, if any problems come up. Yeah, I guess that.
and that came naturally. Like, no one had to kind of like drop knowledge on you or nothing. You just kind of had that perspective.
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, since a young age, when I was a kid, like in high school, I was in a band, and I'd be booking all the shows and stuff. And that comes with, you know, managing a lot of different pieces, and that kind of came natural to me. So I guess it did. That's what kind of came to my mind when you said that. So maybe you. I don't know where I got it from. Maybe I don't even have it. I don't know.
I mean, at a 7, I feel like I trust you. I trust you,
okay,
knowing yourself.
Right on.
Yeah. But for sure, dog, for sure. And is there anything you feel like you need to work on still?
I need to work on probably my time management. Time management could do some work. And yeah, probably I think getting out and like being uncomfortable, I think I could use that more often. Because you know, as a music artist and like and I guess a content creator, I spend a lot of time inside in my room. I also work remotely, like for my full-time job. So I'm at home most of the time. And after a few years of that, I could tell I'm not as socially, I'm just not as social as I used to be.
Yeah.
So I think I could probably get out of that little lump.
I got you for sure, man. I mean, yeah, being a musical artist and even a creator, you gotta live in the uncomfortable. And that's something I did not do either. I feel like at the peak of my like focus of doing music, I wanted to be the dude that made a classic in my house, and then, you know, just somehow through the internet it would like pop off just because like, oh, people find it, people share it. I really underestimated the whole like I need to do 100 shows in a year or whatever, like be out there so people can just hear my music. And even now, like when the people who knew me as an artist are always like, oh, you stopped, or like you're not doing that anymore, and I have to kind of explain myself every time, like, yeah, I mean, it's not that I stopped, I still do it, it's just, you know, it's not that focus, or I'm not like spending my days just trying to write lyrics all day like I used to. But as far as having that perspective of being chill, right, do you think like doing music or like expressing yourself in that way has contributed to that chillness? Just because I feel like you found a way to kind of process your emotions, process you know, what you're going through, and that kind of allows you to be more chill versus someone who doesn't have that outlet, and it's like, oh, you know, they can't be chill, you know?
I don't know, that's hard to say, because you know, I've been doing it my whole life. But I think one thing I can say is that my chillness probably conveys through my music.
I got you.
You know, my music is generally it's mostly chill stuff, laid back shit. And obviously the lyrics represent my thoughts and who I am of the time that I've written it. So yeah, but I don't know, it probably does help. Because you know, actually through my lyrics is like, that's like the truest form of my emotions and thoughts. And so I've said it before in other interviews and stuff, that like people who listen to my music know who I am more than my friends do, you know. So
I hear you, man. I hear you. So like, yeah, I know for myself, when I was in college, I was making my music, and then whenever I finished a song, I'd ask my friend to come into the room and just like rap to them. And then, you know, like, I don't know if people really understood that that's what I was doing. I was just trying to like, this is how I'm really feeling. Like, do you feel it or not?
Yeah.
And then it's always just like, oh, that was good.
yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, God.
They're just your boy. Like, they're just your homie, you know?
Yeah,
like, they know you from one perspective, but
for sure, man.
It also is like, I know that like, as if you're showing something to your homie, it is kind of asking a lot. At least I always felt like it was asking for a lot. To get them to be like, yo, you feeling this shit? Like, you know? Like I used to be like, damn, my homies don't fucking like my shit, but it's like, yeah. Like, you
they
know?
honestly just don't see you as that way, right? Like, if they discovered your music as like a stranger or whatever, they'd be like, oh, this is fire. And I don't know if you still discover music in that way, but for sure, the excitement's a little bit different. I know for me as an artist though, if I had a homie that was making something, I would hype it up, because I would always want to be hyped up.
No, I know how it is. So I always try to support my friends that are making music. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Just curious, before we move on to the Wheel of Fate, how many rapper names have you had, like until you settled on your name now?
I don't even know what my very first one, but for a short amount of time, I went by Kudos.
Kudos?
Yeah.
That's
like Kudos,
sick, dude. Yeah.
But I ended up changing it. I don't know why. And well, I ended up changing it because someone saw my last name and they're like, what's Kubota? That sounds dope. It's like, oh, that's my last name. It's like, I think you should rep that. Like, you should rep that like Asian, you know, Japanese name. and
Yeah.
you know, because it does develop your brand more. And as the years went on, well, with the content I make now with the stupid Japanese phrases, it's definitely part of my brand now.
Yeah. I got
So yeah, I guess I went through like one name, Kubota, just kind of happened, and I stuck by it, and now I can't change it. So
Yeah. You gotta kind of
Yeah.
ride with it for as long
Yeah.
as you can.
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be my last name, so fuck it, you know.
Yeah, but no, for sure, man.
Yeah.
I've definitely had my share of good and bad rapper names that I like. I always had that hidden meaning and stuff. But at the end of it, the last one before I officially decided to change lanes, I just went by my name, which was Jan. It was just
Yeah.
Jann.
That's sick though. That's a sick name, I think.
Oh, dog, I appreciate that.
Yeah. It's a good name and a good rapper name, bro.
For sure. Yeah, and like you talked before this year, like, you know, people always mess up my name, and for sure, man, like it takes a while for someone to really know my name. And then for the show, I was just like, fuck it. I've grown accustomed to 34 as just being my number for my life, and if I was ever gonna rap again, I might just roll with 34 because now it's a part of my brand, or like my brand name. But we'll see. Maybe I'll keep it separate because I do like the idea of alter egos.
The two separate brands or whatever.
Yeah, like, oh, that guy's actually the same guy as this, and, you know.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, that'll be sick. Send me your stuff when you, or actually, you could send me your stuff that's currently out if you have it.
You know, got the SoundCloud.
Yeah.
I'll shoot it to you.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Hopefully you dig it.
Yeah, I'm sure I will, dude.
You're just gonna send me. It's good. It's all
No,
right.
dude, I'll be hyping you up more than that.
No worries, man. No worries. All right, Doc. Well, we made it to the twist of the interview, which is the Wheel of Fate, and let me pop that open for you. So, I gotta ask, and I hope this graphic works for me.
So,
really? Go ahead. You had a question?
Yeah, I see a little thing right there.
It does, but like, let me see if you see how like that wheel pops off and it disappears.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm gonna get that up there. I gotta figure this out.
Wait, is it gonna work with the recording that I have on my end, or?
That is something I'm gonna have to figure out. And
okay, maybe you could clip it back to this.
Yeah. Don't worry about it, man. It's the stuff I gotta worry about.
All right, sure.
But yeah, let me see if I could. There we go. I don't know why it does that, but let's give it a spin. And if there's any question that's too deep, too personal, and like you don't want to talk about, feel free to pass. All right.
Okay.
So your first number is 20, and this one's pretty deep, Doug.
Okay.
It is. What was a situation where you didn't get the help you needed? If you don't mind sharing.
When, I don't know. I can't really pinpoint. I mean, like, I guess like just being a music artist, everything's got to be done by yourself, you know? So I think when I was younger, I used to feel a bit more entitled, like, fuck, like why am I not getting opportunities, or like why are my friends, like we were talking before, why are my friends like, you know, showing up, like hyping me up and shit. But then that was just me being an entitled brat. And you know, that it's a whole problem that was made up, constructed in my mind. It was like, dude, I didn't deserve any of that. I gotta show up for myself. So yeah, I guess that's my answer.
I got you.
Yeah.
That's interesting though, man, because like, yeah, as an artist that's trying to come up, you definitely feel like, and the way, I guess, not society, but how everyone is portraying it, like, yeah, I did this by myself, or I did this on my own. I used to believe that, but you know, the older I get, I'm like, you know, it's not really just me pushing it out, right? I would love it if my homies were gonna repost my song and do these things, but yeah, but you know, that's different though. Like, we can't depend on them to do those things. However, like, have you felt comfortable asking for, not necessarily through friends, but just even like, you know, I don't know how it is for you, outreaching to blogs maybe, or to other channels or like podcasters like myself and be like, hey, can you play this, or be on so da da da. Are you comfortable with that yet, or is that still something where you're like, nah, I can do this on my own?
I think when it comes to like reaching out for marketing purposes, I'm completely okay with that now.
Okay.
When it comes to like, what's up here, that's where it gets a little dicey. That's where I don't really open up or like ask people for help. If it comes to like my own problems, I just kind of keep it to myself. Don't really want to bring it up. But when it comes to like asking for help, if it's like an appropriate, transfer of services or something like business wise, I think I'm open to it. I get rejected a lot, so I guess I got used to it.
Yeah, just get immune.
Yeah. So I'm okay with that. Yeah.
For sure. I was gonna say even that part sucks though. Like when, especially for me too, when I'm this year, I've been trying to tell myself I'm gonna be asking for help, and I just like reach out to folks, and I have to feel comfortable in knowing that I'm not doing it because I want something back. It's just like, I really believe in what I'm doing, and I want to see if anybody else believes in it. Are they willing to like, help it push it along? But yeah, man, I mean, asking for help is still something I'm terrible at, and I hope, for yourself, you can overcome it a lot easier than I can. I don't know. If you were gonna say, like, if I was gonna ask you, what help would you need with your music right now? How would you answer that?
I think I need a little more direction, like a mentorship probably. Someone that's already kind of, crossed the paths that I'm trying to cross. That would be really helpful. But it's not really something I could just go out and be like, yo, be my mentor.
Yeah. So, there's no social media network that allows you to just do that.
Yeah.
Anyone out there connect mentors to people?
Yeah. Let me know. Hit me up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a trip because I just, as the years have gone by, I realized like what I'm doing, everyone that's doing what us creatives are doing, like what you and I are doing, it's like each of us are on our own paths no matter what. So it's like there isn't really a right or wrong answer to where you're supposed to be going, but a little bit of direction would be nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And yeah, we talked about opportunities earlier. Like for myself, I don't know how many opportunities I missed just because I was not able to ask or like voice, what I needed at that time. And yeah. I don't want to go down that path, but
yeah. Nah, but I understand. I've been there too.
No, I got you, man.
Yeah.
There was one other thing I wanted to say, but man, it flew out of my mind. So on that note, let me give the wheel another spin.
Okay, sounds good.
Here we go with number 6. Is it clear on your end, like what number it lands on, or not really?
Yeah, I see the 6 right there.
Okay, so I'm not lying. All
yeah.
Here we go. Number 6 is, what is your mission?
What is my mission?
You're gonna like describe it,
I just want to be self-sustainably happy. Build an empire around the things that I create, and hopefully have it be a long-lasting source of stability.
I got you.
Yeah.
What does the empire look like? When you say, build it out.
So I was thinking, like, music is my main thing. This was like my multi-year goal from like 2 years ago. I wanted to conquer like music, become a music artist, and then go into other forms of entertainment, other forms of entrepreneurship, and I guess I'm actually kind of in the process of doing that. I haven't really mastered music yet. People don't know my music yet, but hopefully one day I could, have a sustainable source of income from like YouTube, maybe streaming. If I ever start streaming, that's a whole nother project that I'm really scared about. I got my clothing brand that I launched late last year that I've been working on. So, and then I got the social media stuff that, you know, is helping me kind of develop all more different roads and different opportunities to grow that empire. And so I think I'm in a good spot right now. But yeah, you know, it's just like multiple projects stemming from what I thought was just going to be music. But yeah,
I feel
I don't know if I explained that very well.
No, I mean, you don't have to, just because.
Okay, all right, cool.
Well, the reason why is that like the more we're speaking, I feel like the more our paths may have been a little similar, because aside from doing, you know, being rappy in my first dream, it was also, I started a clothing brand at 27 years old.
Oh, sick. Okay, so right around the time I did too.
Exactly. And dog, like, so for yourself, doing music, doing the clothing brand, and doing, you know, your videos, I almost want to say it's entertainment or comedic, or
yeah, it's pretty much, I mean, I guess it's comedy / educational, but like not educational at all. Well, mostly comedy, yeah, I guess.
All right, for sure. But anyways, like, do you feel like that's a lot to do at the same time? Because, you know, everyone out there is pretty much saying, oh, you got to stick to one thing and, you know, focus on that, laser focus on that if you want to, like, you know, conquer music or whatever. But yeah, do you feel like it's been better for you, or, you know, this is the way you like, or this is the way you like it, or would you prefer focusing on one thing at a time?
I mean, everything kind of intertwines with each other. The videos, the Japanese stuff started about like a year or two ago, and the whole purpose was to promote my music, and it still is, you know. That's probably why I probably won't go into doing that kind of videos for like YouTube, where it's too long. You know, that's a lot of energy to put in. But with these like short form videos, you know, I could still entertain and bring an audience to my music. So it kind of comes into it all intertwines together. I do sometimes feel like I'm spreading myself out too thin.
Yeah, be careful with that. Yeah.
Yeah, but right now I think, I don't know.
No, cool.
I could definitely. That's why I think I could work on my time management more.
Yeah.
And try to kind of set a well balanced schedule between everything that I want to do. Because right now I'm also trying to grab like brand collaborations and stuff. So my focus has been in that as well, and a little bit of sync licensing as well for my music. I think I definitely need to put more effort in my music right now.
I got you.
But it is, in my opinion, I think it's all doable. You know, an hour on everything is 1 hour ahead of where you were before. So,
for sure.
Yeah, it's just putting in some energy in little pockets of each project, and hopefully it works out.
No, I mean, honestly, man, as people who like to create, right? Like, we need these different avenues to create
the
something.
music it's not making me shit, so.
yeah, and you know, that for me, that's something I had to like realize for myself, is like the music. When I like really thought, I looked up to rappers and I wanted to live that lifestyle and, like, you know, be the person who's like able to speak to people and for people to actually hear what they're putting out there. Like, you know, lyrics are very important to me. But I realized with that, it was just my self-expression. It felt like a journal at some point, right? Like I was just journaling through song. And reason why I got into making the clothing brand was because I felt like my music was becoming the same song every time. It was about struggling. It was about getting high. It was about like being optimistic. It was like that was the rotation of songs. If it wasn't a song about a girl, then, you know, it was nothing. I couldn't write about the hood because I'm not from the hood. I couldn't write about like being gangster because I'm not gangster. So I told myself, let me get some more life experience, and maybe I could write something based on new journey instead of like, you know, what had been doing in the past. And like, so now I feel like I write maybe once a month, maybe twice a month, depending on like which beat I find that just like speaks to me and like can pull out those lyrics. But yeah, I mean, as far as what you're doing now, I'm not going to be the person to tell you to focus on one thing, because you don't know what is going to draw like you into different avenues. And if it's always in your mind that's going to come back to your music, then that's chill too. Like, and yeah, so if it's your music, I'll be pulling for you. And
I appreciate that, bro.
What's your brand called anyway? Your
clothing. So the clothing brand is called Oroka, and it means like foolish in Japanese. So it stems.
Sick.
So I yeah. So I pretty much started it because of these Japanese videos where I teach stupid Japanese phrases, and I had the first drop, and it had like phrases like "lick my nipples" in Japanese.
Some people buy that literally, dog.
Yeah, people bought it. I made a profit. Like it was a good launch.
For sure.
So, and it's all due to me having the following that I had through the Japanese stuff. So, you know, it's an avenue I've always wanted to do, and now it's doable for me. So that's why I did it. But right now I'm working on the second collection. I like to say collection sounds nice, but
I hear you.
All the goofy ass shit.
It's a collection, man. It's a collection.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how that stemmed from. I'd like to work on my music merch soon, but I'm gonna wait for that later down the line. Once I get more used to this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, take your time with it, and if your energy is being called through your clothing first, you can always come back to write those songs. You know, the beats that need and that feeling of like, I need to get these. I don't know, for you it feels like a puzzle, you know, right? Like you have words that you're trying to fit into a puzzle.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It'll always be there.
Yeah,
like, no matter how old you are. So
no, it's always bringing me back. Like it's always pulling me back. Like I'm opening up notes and I'm writing something down. So
for sure,
you know, it's always gonna be there. I know that for sure.
You play instruments too? Or
yes. I produce most of my beats. I did a few collaborations last year with Kingsford, but almost all my projects prior to that and coming out will be produced by me.
That's
so
sick.
I play guitar and a little bit of piano, but I'm not that good at piano.
For sure. I mean, that for me, acoustic hip hop is a genre that I don't think has been explored too often. I don't think that's what you're doing, but just throwing out hints out there.
It's a good idea. You're making me think right now. So
for sure, man. Well, let me know if you want a feature. I'm down.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
We'll check out my music first, and you let me know if you think this
All right. Sounds good.
All right, Doc. So we have about 15 minutes left in the pod. I think we have time for one more spin. So let me go do that. I do remember what I was gonna say earlier, which was when I was trying to get into rapping, and like I had this idea of making it and everything. I never really took into account like how being Asian and trying to rap is like this big ass barrier. Like you know, people don't look at us as like skillful rappers all the time. And even now, like I feel like if I were trying to pop off, I would have to do it internationally first before America can kind of accept me and be like, oh, this guy has skills. So I don't know if that's crossed your mind, but I know that's something that like when I listen to you know the artist Lyrics Born?
Lyrics Born? I don't think so.
Look him up. I would recommend Shoulda Coulda Woulda. That's his one of the songs that I really vibe with. But he was based in San Francisco or like the Bay Area, Asian cat. And this back in 2007, 2006, I remember in high school, I had shown my teachers like, oh yeah, I'm trying to rap. And they introduced me to Lyrics Born. And I didn't listen to him at the time. Like I was like, oh cool, whatever. Wow, look at me like ignoring another Asian rapper. And so fast forward when I was like in past college and everything, I started listening to him. Like, damn, this is actually pretty good. And then like even now I follow him on Instagram and stuff, and he still talks about it because he's still performing. He does live shows with a live band, and he's good at what he does. But no matter how hard he's going, it's like he's not getting picked up, or like there's that glass ceiling or whatever that just keeps him down. And it's unfortunate, but I do feel like it's just where we're at right now with music and hip hop. And I hope maybe like somebody like yourself, or someone that's still coming up right now, can kind of break those barriers, especially when it doesn't have to be gangsta hip hop, right?
I mean, hip hop's tough.
Yeah,
hip hop's tough,
for sure.
I totally feel that. I used to want to be in the more like modern style of hip hop, so I felt that pressure a lot. But now I just kind of make music that I make, and that's not a thought that really crosses my mind as much anymore. But
that's dope.
But I mean, I think it's just my music. I actually wouldn't say my music is hip hop. It's more like rap. It's like pop rap,
I got you.
I got mad respect for hip hop, culture wise and everything, like everything that it's taught me. But for my own music, I think I just call it rap and indie pop fusion. And I think in that circle I could garner more of a fan base, and that's not as gate kept as like true hip hop heads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So but man, I definitely had that same, or like I still feel that way. Like I feel like you have to be so much better than so many other people in the game just because you're Asian, No,
I hear it. And the gatekeepers of hip hop, I hope you're listening. But yeah, for sure, man. And the last number for you is number, I want to say 16. So
something like that.
16 or 15. It's right at that line. So I'm gonna go with 16, which is what words do you need to hear?
What words do I need to hear? You'll be fine.
I got you.
Yeah.
You'll be fine, dog.
Hey, thank you. And, I needed to hear that.
On the flip side, are there any words you feel like you need to say?
I don't know. I'm blanking.
It's good, man. Don't worry.
You'll be fine. Yeah.
There you go. Hey, I appreciate that, dog. I appreciate that.
Everyone should hear that. I think everyone should hear that, So.
How often do strangers go up to you and just be like, "Hey, you'll be fine, man"?
Never. I'm in this room all the time, so.
Well, I'm glad we could do that exchange here today.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Sure, man. All right, man. Well, we made it to the final stretch of the podcast. But before we do that, I have this little exercise, another exercise before we go to the closeout questions. It's called the 34th mantra. All right, you down?
Okay.
All right, dog. So I'm gonna ask you to just close your eyes real quick. All right. So think of like you're in the forest, right? You hiking or whatever, but it's just you going solo dolo, and you need to like just scream out into the forest. But the prompt is, I am, I can, I will. Are you out there? You want to scream this out? I am blank. I can blank. I will blank. Give it a second to think. Let me know when you're ready. Then you can open your eyes.
I am, I can, and I will.
Yep. I am blank. I can blank. I will blank.
Okay. I think I'm good.
All right, dog.
Okay, so I think I would say I am good enough. I can succeed, and I will succeed.
I got you, dog. Now you have that little soundbite of yourself. Maybe you could throw that in a song in the future. Yeah. Or like you could set it as your alarm. Who knows?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for participating, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me, man. This was fun. It's a different interview than all the other ones I've done. So this was fun.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
I haven't really been on too many interviews on the other side of this, so I can't speak out of experience. But no, I think a lot of folks tell me that, and it makes me feel like I'm doing something right, you know?
Yeah, for sure. It's unique. I can vibe with it for sure.
Right on, man. So we're here at the closeout questions. The first one is actually a question from my previous guest. So shout out to Sean Pearl out there. His question for you is, what gives you confidence when you're by yourself? And I feel like you have a lot of experience in that. Just because
I think when I just finish a task or like a project that I set out to do. So what I like to do is I'll do a rough like task list of what I need to do that week.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I complete like a task, like make a new song and a video and like edit it in one day or something, that always feels good. So
Dude, that must be like you did not stop working all day. I know how that feeling is.
yeah,
Like
most days I'm not really stopping unless I'm like eating, but I've gotten used to it, you know. So that and probably the reason why is because I enjoy that like knowledge of being like, oh, I did something today, you know, or I did as many things as I could within the time that I have awake.
Dog, and that feeling just gets, I mean, that for me, that voice in my head just keeps getting louder and louder the older I get. It almost feels like I'm running out of time, even though I don't want to feel that way. But then life is short too.
I feel that.
Yeah, it's weird, man. And like I don't know if you play video games, but like I want to play video games as a 32-year-old, but
I think I know what you're gonna say.
I play for like an hour and I'm just like, why am I not
what
enjoying this?
yeah. I'll get a new game and I'll be like, yo, this is great. I've been wanting to play this, and then an hour in, I'm like, there's actually like there's no point in this. Like
it's a tough realization, man. Like I just bought the new Spider-Man games and I've been meaning to play them and I just can't. I'm like, I'm 32, dog, playing a Spider-Man game. Like, am I supposed to?
I hear those are dope. I heard those games are sick.
And that's what got me to like finally making the purchase. But yeah, I think that's another thing that I just have to be comfortable with. Like, it's okay to just enjoy that stuff that you liked as a kid.
Yeah.
And you know, there's not really that rush that you feel, but yeah, I feel it, and I know a lot of people out there do too. But yeah, man, for sure. Thank you for your answer to that. And
for sure.
Second to last question is, what would you like to ask the next guest on 34 Questions?
Sorry, hang on.
You good.
Next question for the next person. How let me think. I guess what's the most fulfilling thing you do on your free time?
What's the most fulfilling thing? I'm just writing down.
Fulfilling thing you do during your free time.
During your free time.
I think that's a good question.
Nah, I dig it, man. I also like to answer this question as well.
Okay.
So, what's the most fulfilling thing that I do in my free time? Man, like I think for me at this point in my life, I always think like I've set it up where everything almost feels like free time. Like I know I'm at work, but work for me feel like I'm thankful for my coworkers and my boss because they kind of let me just be myself and do all these things that I feel like is extra. That's just me. And like maybe it feels like work when I'm doing the stuff I don't like to do, but I would say that's 25% of the time. And then my free time, what people would consider when you're not at work, would be like doing this podcast and stuff, which I think is super fulfilling to me.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think in that sense, that's what I would consider like, you know, what I do in my free time is doing this podcast. But even if I wasn't doing this podcast, right, and this wasn't considered my free time, I think I just really enjoy like meeting strangers, you know. Like I really enjoy just chopping it up with somebody. And I've been thinking about this recently, and I feel like the reason why I enjoy meeting strangers more so than like maybe spending more time with family and friends, which kind of honestly hurts to say right now, but it's just that like there's no like expectations from it,
Right.
you know. And I almost feel bad sometimes because when I'm like talking to you, talking to any guest that comes through, it's like there is, you know, a connection that we make because I like to ask these questions that are a little bit deeper, but it also sucks where I feel like, you know, it's hard for me to continue that kind of connection with everybody like all the time.
Right. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. So, but to answer your question, most fulfilling thing would be just connecting with folks, especially if I don't know them, because I feel like that's an accomplishment. We talked about accomplishing something on every day. And for me, that's one of those things that just make me feel like, damn, that was important. That was like something that was meaningful that I just added to life, you know?
Yeah,
man.
That's a good answer. Nice.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for answering it.
No, thank you for the good question, man. And then my last question for you, that question that ties everything together. I lied, it's not the last question, but the biggest question, which is 100, 200, 300 years from now, your descendants are watching this video. What would you like to tell them?
I don't know.
It's good.
Shit, what do I want to tell them? What up? It's your great grandpa Riki. Go to school. I don't know.
I got you. Don't worry, man. Don't worry. Maybe you'll find out when you come back for a part 2 in the future someday.
Yeah. I'll think about that. I'll think about the answer.
No worries, dog. Any last things you'd like to add before we head out of here?
No, just thank you for having me. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Definitely shoot me your SoundCloud.
For sure. And why don't you tell the folks out there where to find your stuff? Like, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should look. If you check out my music at Kubota on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere, Kubota. Social media is at Kubota Music on Instagram. Follow me there. And find me on YouTube. I do like vlogs here and there. And yeah.
For sure.
Thanks.
I got you, Riki. I want to thank you again for stopping by. I want to thank all the folks out there. If you're watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, definitely appreciate your time as well. Remember to reach out, reach forward. As always, much love. And we'll catch you guys next time on 34 Questions. Peace.
Peace.
And then it's going to fade out from there.